Sunday moment today. And I always am grateful for all of you guys who take out of your Sunday to join me for an hour of power in having our moments together. I think it is a major, what is it, labor of love or sacrifice zone when we take out of our days of rest or religious practice, rituals, downtime, preparation for the week, and say, I'm going to sit down for a moment. So I want to always give a special thanks for all of those who offer me mommy mercy and come and join me on a Sunday moment. I am beyond grateful. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And let's get into an extraordinary moment today. So it is a Sunday moment. We are coming up already towards the middle of January. We're in the middle of the first month of the year, and look how fast everything is moving. So we need our moments, right? We got to get in here and get them in. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm beyond grateful. It is a Sunday moment. I have had so much going on this week and this weekend, so you can hear that my voice is struggling a little bit. Um, I'm always like with my lifestyle and some of the things that go on with my body. When I start to run on fumes, it starts to turn into something. But this is always restorative. And I think we should always pour in to what pours into us. Always have time for yourself. Always have time for what you need. So I am so grateful to have time for you today. I want to give a great big birthday shout out to Dakare. Today would be his actual birthday. He is in the ancestral realm, and it is his first. It's our first birthday without him physically being here, and so I definitely want to give a beautiful dedication to him today from a moment into his beautiful family, into Kavana. Hey, Mr. Carter, the homie's here. I want to give a beautiful birthday shout out to Tamim and Dan. This week was, the first week of January is like full of birthdays. So happy birthday to everyone. Y'all know I love a good celebration of a person and their soul, okay? Love you to life. Happy birthday. Have an extraordinary year. Um, there was one more announcement. Oh my goodness, this one. Now hold on, everyone, hold on, right? I want to give a big shout out to Hut. Now, when anytime people come up to me and they tell me, I watched your show, I saw your show last week, in this case, 2 shows last week, it's a long story. Um, but when anytime someone comes up and it's just like, hey, I saw you, I watched you, it's always a super blessing. Hi and welcome. I'm always like, oh my goodness, tell me your name, I'm going to shout you out. This incredible individual not only watches the show, but also asks to take a picture with me. Now, why you do that for? Okay? Because now your girl is like, I'm turned. Okay? But I just want to really quick, but on a more serious note, give a very humble shout out to Hut. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for being a part of the moments. And thank you for big upping your girl. You know what I'm saying? I need it. I need it. This is hard work. But anyway, thank you all so much. Birthday blessings to everyone. Let's get in to our moment. So we are in a manifestation series. I am in the last year of my 30s. I'm in my last days of my 30s. And we are in the last days of a lot of things. Okay, we have a lot of things that are not going with us into the next level of our lives. We have a lot of circumstances and situations that will no longer be a part of the resume of self. And we are, I hear you, Mr. Carter. And we are getting rid of those things with manifestation. We're not wishing them away. We're not fussing them away. We're not cursing them away. We're not, exhausting them away. We are manifesting more, and they simply just won't have space. Right? We just simply aren't making space for things that don't serve us anymore. And we have been getting and gaining and utilizing tools for that for almost an entire year. Really, almost from February of last year until February of this year. And boy, have the manifestation moments been booming. They've been moving, they've been working, and they have been so healing and empowering, right? They've given us so much to go and get. I have been astonished by the things that have moved out of my life, the things that move into my life, the things that start working for me. So I'm just always saying, hey, we have time for a moment. Life is crazy, things are going on, but you have time for a moment, especially a manifestation moment, right? We have time to get things going in our direction. So we are in a manifesting moment. We are manifesting more. Today's episode is entitled Bargaining with the Bright Side. Y'all, I can't wait to get into that. Bargaining with the bright side. That's what we're getting into today. Um, we have, when it comes to the manifestation moments, of course, I'm a spiritual scientist, self proclaimed spiritual scientist. I get into my lab. I use all types of resources, all types of scholars, all types of material to come up with the work that we do here at A Moment of Harmony. And in this particular case, a predominant amount of my research has come out of this secret, the notebook. I would say the notebooks, the secret, the books, the documentaries, the interviews. I've used a lot of that as it pertains to the laws of attraction. Not solely that, but a lot of that. And we are going to be working out in my little calendar book that we do every week before we go into the moment that is loosely curated around the excerpt that I read. So I'm going to read my excerpt. We're going to get into this moment and we're going to talk more about how to set our minds to the bright side of things. Yes, in this economy. Yes, in this climate. Yes, in this dating pool. Yes, in the reality that we're in. How are we going to better set our minds? I mean, the pile on is real. The chaos, you know what I'm saying? We're needing to decompress, but don't even worry about it. We are going to get more tools today about how to look at how I say don't worry about it and the screen went brighter, right? Bargaining with the bright side. And we're going to learn how to make what just happened on screen happen with us in real life within ourselves. Getting low, getting dark, getting desperate, starting to lose hope, getting pessimistic. We're going to learn how to bargain with the bright side in order to manifest growth into greatness. We're doing that today. We're doing that. So I'm going to read this excerpt. Bear with me while I read the excerpt, and we're going to get into this moment, okay? We're going to get into this moment. Now, to change our lives, I don't want y'all to hear all my papers moving. To change our lives, at some point we have to decide that rather than suffer anymore, we are going to live in happiness. And the only way we can do that is to make the decision to look for things to appreciate no matter what. As we begin to focus on the good and the brighter side of things, the law of attraction responds by sending back to us the exact photocopy of our thoughts. Remember, that was our last moment. Remember that? And good things begin to appear, and then more good things, and then more. Okay. Looking on the bright side, it's saying that we're getting to the point, what this excerpt is saying is that we have to get to a point where we can look towards things that we are grateful for, things that bring us joy, things that make us happy, things that keep us motivated, things that continue the momentum of manifestation. We have to be able to do that no matter what in order to utilize energies in our lives to work in our favor and on our behalf. We just have to do that. So I'm going to give us the tools for us to do more of that in our everyday lives, very practically, very normally, very manifesting magically. Okay? So y'all thought I was gonna say very Tamor, right? It was there, very Tamor. But we're gonna be bargaining with the bright side today, and I'm so excited. So the first thing with getting into bargaining with the bright side is the same old adage and cliche that seeing is believing. One of the reasons, so first I want to get into bargaining. Bargaining is an agreement between two people. Now, I'm paraphrasing, right? Paraphrasing on the Webster side of things. A bargain is an agreement between two people about, coming to reaching a decision based on what one can do for the other. Okay? And so when we say that we're bargaining with the bright side, it means that life is happening. We are growing. We are learning. We are experiencing. Child, are you experiencing? I'm experiencing. We are experiencing. However, We are not denoting, we are not being distracted from, we are not giving up on the bright side. We're not losing sight of what we truly want and the things that will bring us complete fulfillment, and that we have enough wherewithal to sit at the table of life and say, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. What do I need to do to get this? What do I need to do to make this happen, to grow this, to shrink this, to eradicate that? We have enough of what we need internally to sit down at the table and bargain with the bright side. Okay? Let's make a deal. I'll stop talking to myself a certain way. I'll stop allowing people to behave a certain way in my life. If it means I'm going to get more of this, and that, right? We're going to get more into that today. Bargaining with the bright side of things in order to manifest more. So, seeing is believing. Cliche, right? This is such a really great part for us to look at as it pertains to getting what it is we really deserve and bringing and magnetizing to ourselves what will work for us. Because in our minds, one of the reasons we get caught up in negativity and pessimism, when we start to think things aren't going to work for us, when we start to have this little bit of doubt that seeps in, that's like, I want it, but I'm not sure if I can have it. Too good to be true. Oh my goodness, that is one of the worst things that we can sit with when we are making decisions and moves for our lives. But I am not preaching, I'm sharing. When I tell you, I will be quick to be like, too good to be true. What's up? What's the shenanigan up under this? And guess what always happens? I always find the shenanigan up under it. So seeing is really believing. A lot of times what we see is what is in our presence. We have a hard time being able to visualize what could improve things, what is actually possible, without putting up a barrier of disbelief, pessimism, or any types of blockages to a flow towards manifestation. So, if seeing is believing, many of us want things we've never seen before, or we've only seen once, or we don't really believe it's possible for us, even though we've seen it or experienced it somewhere else, or watched someone else experience it. So, in our minds, it's like, I know what I see is what I believe. So being able to shift that perspective and saying, yes, I only saw dysfunctional marriages. Yes, I only saw predominantly single mothers, right? I only saw a certain reality, and therefore it is easier for me to lean on the reality that I've seen with my eyes instead of leaning on a reality that I see with my mind. This Every great visionary, every great manifester that's ever created anything phenomenal has the ability to see what isn't there, to see what is different than what is in the physical. This is creation. How are we going to create if all we can see is what's already here? To be a creator, to be a creatist, it means that you have a vision of what doesn't appear and you can see in your mind. And many of us that are parents, we know we've made a nursery, or we've prepared for a baby. We've prepared for things that do not exist just yet as if they do, and then when they come into existence, we call it reality. We just say it's a number, a sequence of events. It's something that just happened after the next thing, after the next thing. When in reality, you envisioned and you worked towards and you believed in something you couldn't see yet. When we think about moguls and icons, right? Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and all of any of our scholars, when we think about people that really have made a difference in this life, it is people who changed the trajectory of reality with their minds, their hearts, and their actions. They begin to say, I know it can be better than this. This is not it. This is not what I'm seeing. It doesn't work. And there's a different and better way to do that. People who scout talent and begin to develop stars. This is seeing is believing, but not seeing in the physical, not seeing what's right before you, seeing what is to come, seeing what is next. And for all of us, everyday folk, we get caught up in what we actually know. So that means that our goal now has to be to know differently. I don't want to relate and resonate to a reality that is bleak. I don't want to be in alignment with something that doesn't serve me. It does not make me happy, does not make me feel great. It doesn't put me in where I see all of the times, like I always say, we're flooded with images, we're flooded with ideas. This is an informational era of life. Just constant exposure to everything. And I'm seeing things and I'm connected to things and I'm thinking about things that aren't what I see and feel here. I cannot get distracted by the physical. I'm not saying we're going to be delusional. See, how are you? I'm not saying that we're going to be delusional. I'm not saying that we're going to be all in our minds and be evasive when it comes to reality. Yes, clean your house, pay your bills, go to work, do the life stuff. But don't get so stuck in the life stuff that it's all you believe for yourself. It's all that you can see. Know that whatever is out there you truly desire, yes, over the hills, through the moon, over the top romance, it is out for you, or whatever we want to call it, right? Because some of us don't like using the term romance, right? But whatever you want to call it, sufficient or efficient, an abundance in resources and finances, it exists for you. What is the difference between someone who started with nothing and created a multi-billion-dollar corporation and you? What is the difference between someone who was young and reckless and lived a carefree life, but then became serious, grew up, we became moms and dads, did we not? Grew up and became serious or spiritual or connected or grow. What is the difference? The difference is that at some point we were able to look at the physical. We were able to look at our current situations and we said, this no longer works for me. Not that it doesn't work, because sometimes we're afraid to walk away from something or leave something because we don't want to, we want to be grateful to it. And I understand that we want to be obligated to it. I'm not saying it doesn't work for the next level of myself. It doesn't work for just where I'm going next. And I have to have enough love, enough tenacity, and enough faith for the next version of myself. Or that person won't come into fruition. That reality won't be my experience. That vision won't ever be real. And who's so tired of it not being real? It's right here just beyond our grasp. Whatever you want is right here. We live in the same life as other people who have the very things you are desiring for yourself: health, wellness, advancement, growth, development, happiness, joy, freedom. If it's in this life and it exists, it is just as accessible to you as it is to anybody else. The one of the major things that is keeping you from it is not that you don't deserve it and you shouldn't have it, is you don't see it. You are not used to, you have not quite adjusted yourself to bargaining with the bright side of things. When things do get low, when things don't go our way, we start to say and fall into the traps of we can't have. We're not good enough. We don't deserve. It's not my time. It's not my season. And those are the things that are stopping us the most. Learn how to sit with the bright side of things and say, against all I know what it looks like. I know what my bank account says. I know what this dry phone is saying. I know what my friends and families think and believe. But I have a relationship with the bright side of things. And against all odds, I am never afraid to sit down and say, this is what could come out of this. I'm going to sit and say, what good is happening right now? How is this helping me? What am I learning from it, even though it doesn't feel great? And then now, how can I put this, how can I take all of this energy, alchemize it to more and more of what is here for me? what I've been building up to, what I've been working for. No, I'm not stuck in a rut. No, I'm not down in a ditch. I'm working. I'm moving. I'm elevating. I'm growing. I'm learning. This is bargaining with the bright side. This is changing our ideas, changing our thoughts, changing our vocabulary to work on the brighter sides of things. A lot of times, it is the way we see things in our mind, and they are coming back to us, just like the excerpt from this week and the excerpt from last week about that photocopy analogy, right? Giving right back to you what you are putting out. And in my mind, I see things a certain way. And therefore, in your life, you're living things a certain way. I've seen people relentless with their dreams. I've seen people that they call crazy, right? And we know when we get into like pop culture and popularity, we've seen people like Matthew Knowles or Abraham Cantia. I'm trying to think. Did I mess up his last name? Joe Jackson, right? We've seen people that have said this is going to work. Come hell, come high water, this is going to work. I see something, I am pushing towards it. I mean, and they start to lose things. They start to, things start to go awry. Challenges just up left and right, and they still say, "This is the only option I see for myself." And then what happens? They create moguls, they create lifestyles for generations, right? And that comes from people who see something and are unwavering with it. Do they have to? Yes, when they're losing a house, or you're losing your income, or you're losing faith, or you're losing friends, and you have to find it within yourself to say, yes, this sucks. Why is this taking so long? Why is this not coming to me? I'm doing everything right. I'm working so hard. How am I drawing in these types of experiences? How in the heck do these patterns keep coming throughout my life? But you have to have the wherewithal to say, but. I have a relationship with the Most High, with source energy, with the bright side of things, with love and light and illumination that would allow me to sit at the table of the decisions of my life and say, here, you can choose to really get discouraged by this. You can give up. You could then say all of your fighting was for nothing. All of your growing was for nothing. All of your sacrifice, your releasing, all of these things they all came for not for you to be in the same predicament this year that you were in last year. Or you can bargain with the bright side. You can say, what is it that I have to sow into the good of my life in order to release this from my life, in order to attract this to my life, in order to grow this in my reality right now, today, tomorrow. I don't mind sitting down and saying, what is good that I can put in that will bring more good to me? Instead of, I told you so, buying into that, going into the so stupid, why do you do these things? Why do you think this way? You're not at all sitting at the table with the bright side. You're going with what you see. Generational curse. You're going with You're going with what was familiar to you. What didn't work for anyone before you. But you are still going to adopt it and adapt to it and use it. Even in the smallest increment of existence, it has an ability to block what's coming for you. So seeing is believing. The way I see it in my mind matters for the way it will show up in my life. And when the moment I give in to defeat, the moment I give in to challenge, the moment that I give in to despair is the moment I let go more. I release my hold on what good is possible, and I give energy to the negativity, right? Soon as I start to say, maybe you're too old, you're not, you don't have this, you won't get that, this too much, this too little. As soon as you start to give energy into the dark side, you have given up your power of bargaining with the bright side and working out a um, deal in life, a divine deal. Let's make a divine deal. Here's the deal. I will be peaceful with myself. I will have protection over myself. I will give love to myself. And in return, what are you willing to offer me with having grace with myself? More grace. No, I know in the past I've given more grace to others. I know. In the past I've bent over backwards for others. I know. In the past I've handed my validation or my time and energy and all that's precious to me over to other people. I know. But now I'm in the place where I'm willing to bargain with the bright side. I'm saying that if I do more of that for me, what are you willing to offer towards my life? You'll change the job. Watch. You'll change the mates. Or mate. You'll change the energy in your home. You'll change the direction of your health and your mobility and your mindset. Think about the things that we once felt arrested to or obsessed with or in love with, the things that we were just like gotta have it, and then once we changed our mind about it, how the energy, complete energy around it shifted. You madly in love with someone. Beyonce has the song, Thank God I Found a Good and Goodbye. She says, I used to want you so bad, but I'm so through with that. We have all had that moment when you're just waiting and wishing and hoping for the relationship to iron out a certain way, and then it clicks. One beautiful morning, the bulb just goes off in your head, and you no longer, and what happens? Does that person not exist? Does the dynamic not exist? No, you shift and realign yourself with something, somewhere, somehow different. And I'm not even saying a person to a person. I'm saying a mindset to a mindset. You just realign. And you go and you just think, because the only thing changed was my mind. I had the same phone, same phone number, same social media. I'm the same person, but in my mind, I feel and think differently about you. And therefore, just like that, it's different. Think about those who were diehard wrestling fans when you realize wrestling wasn't real, or people whose family told them Santa Claus was real, and you realize that Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy weren't real, or you idolize some type of celebrity, and now we can see all videos into their lives, and you watch them be monsters or watch them be human, and how it literally shifts the perspectives and everything changes. I always give this analogy because, or I always give this story, this correlation. I used to be in love with Pop Tarts, and then one day I just couldn't eat them anymore. But every time I went to the grocery store, I was on my mom like I had a Pop Tart kick, and then the taste just leaves your mouth. The desire just leaves your heart. The craving just leaves your system, or so it seems. Or do you start to feel differently? You start to think differently. You start to outgrow. Seeing is believing. Things are only as real as we feel about them. When you stop thinking someone is the moon and the stars, guess what? They stop being the moon and the stars. When you stop believing in something turning around that no longer serves you, that is heavy weighted, that is low vibrational, when you stop with that, it stops. And it's just, you get to the point where you're like, I just can't believe I ever saw things this way. Or I can't believe, or a lot of times we'll look back, you may look back at your college years. Or I know for me, I look often back at my early mom years. I'm an older mom now, right? And with my younger two, because everybody's practically an adult, the older three. But with my younger two, they're 11 and 7. Oh, look at that. They're 11 and 7. And I'm a different mom with them. And so there's a lot of times when I look back, like, oh, I remember when I was always so afraid about this. Or I was worried about this. Or I was, what is it? Just like having a type, I was just having an inkling or a stickler for certain things. It was just like, it had to be done this way and it had to feel this way. And I had these strict constructs mentally and emotionally and spiritually around what motherhood looked like. And then one day it melts. And I don't want to say and then one day because we'll get into that. Because I want to talk about how processing actually works in manifestation. So I don't even want to use terms like and then one day. Because it is a process of changing, growing, and evolving. And we need to be able to embrace that mentally. We allow ourselves the ability to change the way we see and feel about things all the time. I used to dress a certain way, or I used to like a hairstyle, or I used to keep this routine, or I used to do this thing every week. And we allow ourselves to grow and evolve through life. But we don't allow ourselves to grow and evolve often through thought, evolve through manifesting. We have to be able to say, there was a time when going to the worst case scenario felt natural. There was a time when guarding myself against success, preparing myself for the worst, waiting for the other shoe to drop, felt like safety. But I am not that person. I am not that girl. I don't believe that way. I don't think that great things aren't waiting for me. I don't think that I don't deserve more. I don't think that anything that I desire can be mine. I don't limit myself anymore in chaos, in lack then. I am more than happy to move towards greatness. And just like that, I put down negative thoughts. I stop blocking myself. I open myself up for better, for more, for greater. Because I now can bargain with the bright side. Yes, I'm sitting in the middle of some stuff. Yes, I'm feeling some emotions. Yes, I'm thinking some thoughts. I'm pretty exhausted. I'm about tapped out. But before I go over into the dark side, before suicide becomes an option, before giving up becomes an option, before breaking enters the chat, I am going to sit down with the bright side of things to completely shift what I see, hone in on where I'm going. Don't be distracted by the course. The process is not the reality. That's why it's called a process. This process, think about back in the day when girls used to get perms, right? That process, and I'm not saying that was a great process because it wasn't, but the hair, sometimes you had to question whether or not you wanted to even go through what you were going through. Because the burning, the stinky formula in your hair, but child, once they rinsed it out and blowed you out and toned you down, you was just too cute. Okay, you just too cute to boot. Or at least we felt that way back then with in our Just For Me days. Okay, I'm telling my age. Okay, in our Just For Me days, because the process is not the product. The process is not the finished product, and the process is stopping us from bargaining with the bright side, from having enough hope in us, enough faith in us to sit down in the middle of a storm and say, but I see sunshine coming. Yeah, I got my umbrella up and I have my rain boots on because I'm not an idiot. But I don't believe this storm is here to stay. I don't believe this storm is the end of my story. I don't believe this storm is all that have to happen. I haven't just sat in at the window glooming and gleaming about why it's so shadowy outside. I've begun to think about the sun and what I'm going to do when the weather changes and how I'm going to get towards the weather change. I'm going to sit here and journal in the rain. I'm going to sit here and work out in the rain. I'm going to binge me a good old show in the rain. I'm going to talk and cuddle in the rain. I'm going to do what I have to do because this is not, I talked about the bright side. I don't mind bargaining with the bright side. I said, I know it's not cool right now. But here's the thing. I'm willing to do a little bit of shifting within self. I'm willing to do a little bit of changing within my mind. I'm willing to change my circle. I'm willing to change my contacts in my phone. I'm willing to put a do not disturb. I'm willing because I'm ready to bargain with the bright side. Sometimes you get to a dark space, not to die in darkness, but to be prepared and exactly where you need to be to bargain with the bright side. That's exactly what happens. Good morning. I mean, mercy, because she was going to walk right into the a screenshot of things. So seeing is believing. The way we see it in our minds have changed things for us forever. Like I brought up, the tooth fairy and everything else. The way we see it in our mind, TV, I remember when I saw our reality TV, how they change up the scripts. Reality TV don't even hit the same. You know, when you see how it's really done. But when you change it in your mind, you change it in reality. You stop feeling the same way. You stop going at it the same way, and it stops being the same way. That works for us in a realm of positivity as well. So, how are we going to get ourselves to a better place of seeing and believing? Of being able to say, in my mind, I thought things were this way, but I've been exposed to different things. I've gone into myself. I've listened. I've consulted. I've sought spiritual counsel, and I'm saying I don't even want this in this way no more. I don't want to live like this. I don't. This it no longer serves me. This no longer grows me. This doesn't nurture or nourish me. And so I gracefully release and grow beautifully into the next level of myself because I see things differently in my mind. This isn't how I see love. This isn't how I see work. This isn't how I see womanhood. This isn't how I see aging gracefully. This isn't how I see purpose and power. And therefore, in my mind, I'm seeing something better. I can choose to believe in the bitter, or I can choose to believe in the better, and that is because I've learned to sit and bargain with the bright side. And I believe that I'm making divine deals behind closed doors. And I believe that great things are coming. It is working. What's the song? What is his name? William Murphy, I believe. Me and my bestie love this song. God is leaning in your direction. It's coming for you. Mommy Mercy would never have to cough if I wasn't live. This is children. This is how they do. Now we got to cough all of a sudden because you woke and you see I'm live. Share. Okay, now, so if seeing is believing, and we want to get ready to shift our perspectives. We want to utilize more intentionally and better. If you're going to keep coughing, you can go with TT. You don't have to sit in here with me because I'm live, okay? Thank you. Mommy Mercy. That's Grandma Mercy. Thank you. So how we do that, let's get back into the swing of things. How we do that is when we say, I want to see better for myself. I want to mentally, emotionally shift. I don't just want to say wish, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I want to actually see a future for myself that I can believe in. I want to actually create a reality for myself that I really strongly adopt and plant within myself. And in doing that, we have to make informed decisions over inferior decisions. Hey, DJ, run that back. We have to make informed decisions over inferior decisions. So we want to make decisions about our lives based on facts, based on what is really happening within ourselves and what is really capable for ourselves. We don't want to come from a place of inferiority. We don't want to come from a place of defeat. That's not where I want to make my decisions from. When I decide if I'm going to let this be a good day or a bad day, when I decide on the company that I keep, when I decide on the way I spend my money or how I budget today, when I decide on my plans and my goals, what I have energy for, what I have time for today, I want to make an informed decision, not an inferior decision. And my informed decision will say, you were able to work out like a madhouse a year ago, so you can jump right back up into that today. That's an informed decision. This is information I have. This is possible for you. Over an inferior decision of, I haven't done that in so long, I'm too tired, I'm too busy, right? We want to make informed. And how we know that the informed decisions are factual is because we have won. What is the saying saying? We won 100% of the battles that we fought and didn't lose. The things that we thought were going to wipe us out, kill us, take us down, destroy us, end our lives. Well, guess what? You've won 100% of the battles that you went after. The same source energy that took you out of the last thing took you out of this thing. The same blessing when a miracle dropped out of the sky for you in the past, miracles are dropping out of the sky for you. People are coming through for you. The informed decision says, I have made it. I'm capable. I've grown. I've learned. I understand. My wisdom matters. My journey matters. This is my information of self in form, right? Formed inside. That's information formed inside. This is I make my informed decision over my inferior decisions. So I had some really great opportunities for some career advancement this week, right? Super grateful. Some things that really got me excited about the next chapters of my life and where I'm going career wise. But I had to sit and meet with some individuals in order to talk about what the possibilities would be and where I could possibly be going next. So this meeting was a Google chat meeting, right? We had to meet virtually. So I'm getting ready. And of course it happens on Friday when all the children are out of school, because we're going to get into that next about how the challenges are not going anywhere. We're going to get into that next. But all the kids are out of school, and I have this very important meeting that could cause great advancement and movements for me career-wise. And I am getting ready. I'm sitting up in here getting dressed up, okay, looking like something for the Zoom or the Google meeting chat. And I'm telling the children I have a very important meeting. It's going to last this long, and you got to go here. You got to do that. And Kingdom comes in, our 11-year-old, who I always tell y'all is my manager. Okay, always give him the Joe Jackson title. He always thinks he has to come and prepare me for the success in life. But I appreciate that. He's going to be a strong motivator one day. But he comes in, and this is what he says. He says, Mom, are you ready? He says, you look nice. You look ready, because you know I was suited and booted. And he says, are you ready for this meeting? And I said, I am ready for this meeting. He said, what are you going to be focusing most on in this meeting? I said, well, when it comes, I'm ready. I'm ready for a moment of harmony, okay? I'm Johnny on the spot. I said, when it comes to this meeting, I am ready to give excited, enthusiastic, vibrant, and capable. He said, and don't forget worthy. That's what my 11-year-old said. He said, Mama, just don't forget. All that sounds good. Just don't forget worthy. And that one little nugget, when I'm always joking on Joe for coming in here, always trying to give me a pep talk, it did so much for my perspective shift and what I was able to see for myself. Because yes, you can sit there and you can be present and you can begin, people can be asking you for things. And sure enough, you will still sit there, because I've been through a thing or two where you would say, are these people trying to play me? Is this too good to be true? Am I being exploited? Am I being played? You go in your defenses. And he said, Mom, don't forget worthy. Don't forget that you deserve and whatever it is you want to have. Those weren't his words. All he said was, don't forget worthy. But this is what settled within me when it came to the decisions I was going to make in this meeting. Informed over inferior. I'm not going to come in here saying that y'all trying to play with me, or that y'all going to be like the last people who had a great deal for me, or that y'all are going to be the last people I invested energy and creativity and my thoughts into, that you are going to be like entities and individuals that have just come to suck and take and aren't truthful about what they're going to bring and give, right? I said, instead of coming in with an inferior, somebody trying to get you, you're going to get got. Somebody trying to trick you. This not for you. Avoid. Watch out for the scam. Be on high alert. All these things that do flood my mind when someone says, can we sit down and make a deal? I said, instead of that, be informed. And literally, I shifted myself. You are not a fool. You don't have to worry about being scammed. You are not a rookie child. You are a master in class of the things that you are being asked to do. You are not a baby. This is not the beginning. You don't have to doubt. You don't have to what is it? You don't have to over explain. You don't have to impress. You don't have to improve. All you have to do is show up in your light of self, bargain with the bright side. What's for you is for you, and have faith on what it is you deserve. Make an informed decision over an inferior decision when it comes to every thought, when it comes to every decision that you are making for yourself. When you say, am I going to take this opportunity or not? Am I going to call this person or not? Am I going to go do this thing or not? Am I going to sign up for this or not? Am I going to try this thing again? Am I going to get back up? Am I going to go back at it? Make an informed decision. Has it worked for you? Does it work for you? What does work for you? What do you deserve? What is available to you? What is possible for you? What have you sown that can be reaping right now? Make an informed decision. Speak to yourself truthfully, lovingly, and enlighteningly, and not inferiorly. So coming in thinking, I don't know, this might not be for me. This sounds too good. I'm done. I don't believe in love anymore. I don't think I can do this. I don't know. It's too much damage, repairing relationships with family members. I don't know. Have an informed. Now sometimes what you think is right, but as long as what you are thinking is coming from information and it comes from preparation and it comes from positivity and it's not coming from doubt, fear, frustration, and low vibration. It comes from a place of, hey, I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two, right? Shout out to the top. And therefore, instead of this working out in as a disadvantage, this will be a lesson. This will show me. This is coming to me for good reason. This, instead of this coming to me in a place where I have to be like, I trust myself. I trust my light. I trust my gifts and my talents. I trust my future. Listen, more than anything, I trust source energy, right? I trust the creator most high. I trust my God, right? And in that, I make an informed decision. Jinyame, one with God. I make an informed decision over an inferior decision. And the informed decision, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Carter. And the informed decision is, I've been there and I've done that. You know what works for you. You know this won't work for you. Don't think the worst is going to happen. Think that what comes to you is for you. And that every situation that you're sitting in is getting you. It's either the situation where you are trying to get or a situation closer to where you're trying to get. Bargain with the bright side. Bargain with the bright side of things. Now, this is going to be my favorite part. So I'm glad I'm getting into this 10 minutes before we out because I need a couple of minutes with it, right? When we say make an informed decision over an inferior decision, and we talk about seeing is believing, bargaining with the bright side, looking at things from a more positive, living your life from the more positive, making decisions from the more positive. When we talk about that, it's saying, okay, Harmony, this is easier said than done, right? Because you don't know what I'm facing. Doctor's diagnosis, final notices on bills, just lies and foolishness and chaos and superiority and ego and arrogance at work. Listen, one thing I know about this life is it don't stop. I don't have to know you personally to know that you're battling something, to know that you're growing through something, to know that you're releasing something, to know that you're shedding something, because that's what life is about. I just read recently that a caterpillar has twice as many muscles than a human being. I know, y'all know I'm a nerd. I'm always, okay. Bear with me, okay? This is how I want to use it. I love the butterfly. Love it. Actually, me and the bestie gonna go get matching tattoos with the butterfly. But I love the butterfly and the whole synergy around butterfly and that whole crystallization in one way, evolve, another way, crawl, fly. I love the whole thing, right? I think it's a very spiritual creature. But in real life, the caterpillar has twice as many muscles as a human. So a caterpillar is one of those days where we visibly see a transition. You literally know that every butterfly you see used to be a crawling on the ground bug. And every crawling on the ground bug you see, if it ever so is blessed to live that long, will inevitably turn into a butterfly. This is an inevitable, undeniable um, reality of evolution right before our eyes. Proof of evolution right before our eyes. Magic almost. And here's this thing that starts out one way, completely evolves into a new reality, meaning it never had wings and it never could fly. And it wasn't colorful. It was a whole nother color, had a whole nother function. It ate had a whole nother diet, right? And it literally becomes an entire other thing. And this thing that I love so much, and I wish I could show you all around my room, but I have butterflies everywhere. This thing that we love so much, this pristine example of evolution, has twice as many muscles as a human being does. Because the evolution process is just that real. What that speaks to me is evolving is not for the weak. Evolving is not for the faint of heart. Evolving is not for the fragile or the struggling. Evolving is for a strong mind, a strong heart, a strong spirit. Evolving is an act of strength. You need powerful reserve. So in that, when people say, Harmony, you want me to see better. You want me to believe better. You want me to just know he is out there. She is out there. It is coming. You want me to just move like that. When things look bleak, you want me to think like that. Victory is mine. The battle is already won. You want me to keep all of that in my mind when the stuff is piling up on me daily, suffocating me and whooping my, you know what, on a regular. You talking about bargain with the bright side. I'm scratching and surviving. Good times, keeping my head above water. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want to say about that. The craziness is going nowhere. You are you're a spiritual being, shout out, having a physical experience, shout out to Professor Griff. You are growing and evolving into the greatest levels of yourself, step by step, day by day, moment by moment. You are going to learn lessons. These lessons are going to get learned, child. No one is above the lesson. You can't be rich enough, smart enough, pretty enough, fast enough. You got to be quicker than that. You can't be fast enough for lessons in life, the life lessons and the conditioning of life. The whole reason you are here is to grow, evolve, and expand into supreme beingness. Child, that's going to happen every day. Every day. Whatever you signed up for, that you said, I'm going to have joy and happiness, and it's going to come without stress, and it's going to come without conflict, and it's going to come without challenge. Let that go. Of all the things you release on your journey to better, please let that be the first thing you release. That there will not be troubles, that there will not be problems, that there will not be challenges or conflict. It's how we grow, people. It's literally how we grow. Shout out to Casey, soul conditioning. She calls the physical realm soul school. He came in to elevate. It's going to happen, okay? But this is where manifesting more comes in. You don't have to embrace the lie in the lesson. Lessons are coming. They are coming to grow us. They are coming to stretch us. They are coming to rebuild us. They are coming to hold us up, break us down, bring us out, restructure, recourse, They come in and they doing what they supposed to be doing, have mercy. But one thing you don't have to do is you don't have to embrace the lie in the lesson. You can learn the lesson without adapting to the lie. You can learn the lesson that says you don't all your finances aren't in order without adopting the lie that you broke, that you won't have. You can learn the lesson of failed relationships and growing and learning yourself and maturizing that process without adapting or adopting the lie that you are unlovable or unworthy. You can learn the lesson without living the lie, without adopting the lie. And when it comes to shifting our perspective and bargaining with the brighter side of things, it is doing just that. It is being able to look at what I'm in and what I'm going through, growing through, what I'm dealing with, and be able to reposition my mind, body, and spirit in order to evolve into a better way of being. A lot of times we get so caught up on manifesting not working because what works is the negativity. What works is I didn't think this would happen and now it didn't happen. I didn't think this was a good person and they weren't a good person. I didn't think this was a job for me and that wasn't the. So because that's worked so well, it's aligned, it's what you believe in. We have to learn the lesson and then believe better. We have to stop believing the lie inside of a lesson and stop adopting it. The other thing we do with manifesting is we have this thing where we say, I see it and I want it. Ariana Grande, I see it, I want it, I got it, right? No. We think that the evolution of manifestation and that process, I just did not know I dream of genie. Your dreams are coming true in process. Your vision is coming to fruition in process. You are being released in process. You are being developed in process. I know you want to sit here and say, I believe I can, I believe I can. Bam, now I sit in the top suite at the CEO office. I hope I can, I wish I can, and bam, now I'm married tomorrow. I met the man of my dreams today. You are moving towards that. That future CEO, that future bride, that future groom, that future graduate is developed into a reality. And we get so caught up on thinking we just gonna poof and it's gonna happen. Every great person that got the car you want, that has the house you want, that has the bank account you're thinking about, relationship goals you're looking at, they all evolved to that place. So many times a pop star or celebrity steps on the scene and we like, boom, out of nowhere, kaboom. I love this person, right? Kevin Hart, next big thing, or, you name it, right? We name it. And we thinking Glorilla and all of them, they just came up on the scene and Megan Thee Stallion. No, these people had a beginning. Right? I can remember Cardi B on Love and Hip Hop in the strip club being played with. People telling her she would never be anything. They have that on camera. Thinking she was a joke because she was a rapping stripper. And they were making her do ungodly things just to get her records spin. Or get her records in there back when that was important. Right? Radios and DJs and clubs. And now look. Now look at her. So what I'm saying is, now I'm not going to say that I idolize Cardi. I'm just talking about growth. Manifesting. Going from not being able to eat to never hungry again. Right? Going from not being able to sleep at night to sleeping real well. Having chefs and maids. And I'm talking about not your exact route, but just the reality of evolution. Anybody that you see making it right now, anyone that you see being a manager or a supervisor, anyone you see being an entrepreneur, being a health guru, being a fitness, cut up, they had a process. Manifestation is not about the blinking of your eye and the snapping of your fingers. It is about growing into greater. Manifestation is about growing into your greater versions and being able, in the chaos of life, to not lose sight of where you're going and what's for you. To not lose sight of what you're looking for and what you deserve. Like my boy King said, don't forget worthy. When you go out into this world and you say, I'm trying, I'm being patient, I'm being faithful, I'm being gracious, I'm being diligent, don't forget worthy. That's a moment of kingdom, okay? A kingdom original, that should I say. Don't forget worthy. That's what manifestation is about. Don't forget worthy. And we compromise it. We compromise that worthy. We sit it in the back seat. We don't wanna come on too strong. We don't wanna lose what we barely have. We do things like that. Trauma. Give yourself grace. But that's why we're changing that right now in a moment of harmony. The lessons aren't going to stop. You don't have a little now because you're meant to have a little later. You're not struggling now because you're meant to struggle later. You're not hurting now because hurting is your path, it's your lot, it's your portion. That's not what's happening here. Unless you subscribe to that. Unless you adapt to that, utilize that. Unless that's your song that you're singing, then yes, you'll be singing that tune next year. But I promise you, when you sit down to bargain with the bright side of things, and you choose different lyrics for your life. You choose a different tune, a different beat, a different tone, a different band. Because sometimes, y'all, it's the right song and the wrong band. You know what I'm saying? We choose these things differently. We grow into greater, and that's what manifestation is at its core. It is the evolution of your dreams. And that is the evolution of yourself, the greater sides of yourself. You cannot evolve the greater sides of yourself when you don't ever see the greater side of life, or you don't consistently see the greater sides of life. You don't continuously see the greater side. Not a foolish side, child. Don't be out here, listen, not the foolish side, but the greater side. I deserve, I believe, I know, I have, I will, I am the brighter side. Get on at the table of life and start bargaining with the brighter side and see how life begins to reflect what you see for yourself. Watch how it starts. Because come on, the heart gets heavy and we start to see what the heart is feeling. Light your heart, my yacht. Get it to a feather. Get yourself to a feather so that life starts to lift for you. Whew, child. Somebody say, lift for me. Just lift for me. Okay? I love you so much. Thank you for joining me for a Sunday moment. You've been gracious. Okay? We had a lot of Sunday moments. You've been gracious. I think last Sunday we had 2 moments. Okay? We had a Sunday and a Monday moment. But you've been gracious. I love you to life. Go ahead. Take really good care of yourself. Child, I didn't even get into my week, y'all. Y'all know y'all my therapist sometimes too. And I've been helping my grandparents this week. They're of an age where things are happening with them. And they're losing a little bit of mobility and losing a little bit of self-sufficiency, right? And we had to step in a lot this week. A lot. We had to step in a lot. And it was humbling. It was humbling. I was gracious. First off, my grandmother's home is one of the happiest places I've ever been in my childhood, my safe space as a child. So having to give back to it was a service of my eye, and I was grateful to it. It was hard work, but I had to go back inside in form. I had to go back inside myself and say, think about this in reality. It's your turn to show up for people. That's always showed up for you. But here's the thing. It was humbling in the way of the abilities we have to take care of ourselves, of the things that we take for granted every day, of how the decisions we make today affect tomorrow. All the time. Yes, Mr. Carter. How, and I don't mean a far away tomorrow. I'm almost 40, weeks from 40. I don't mean a far away tomorrow, child. When I tell you I thought 40 was far away, here I am. It's at the door. Amazon, okay? The decisions that we are making will very much determine the quality that we live in the next moment. Y'all see what I did there? So go on. Hi, Sissy Boo. So go on and take really good care of yourself. Yes, yes, yes. Take really good care of yourself. And then, after you've done all good things for yourself, you've secured yourself in the now and for tomorrow. I want you to go on out your way and take really, really, really good care of someone else. I love you all so much. This has been a moment of harmony, and I will see you next week for another moment of harmony. I see you, Sissy. I know what you're doing. Have the best sister ever. Love you guys so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your week.